Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to Tuesday nights. It's the UkSimracers MX5 Season 3 of 2024, Round 11 of the final season of the year. And we're on the new Hampshire road circuit here as well this evening. 1.6 miles, 2.575 kilometres of what plans to be some very interesting racing indeed. It's going to be a very, very interesting one, but let's bring you up to date with the scores on the doors for this season in the pros. Dan Hunt out in front at 1,461 with Jamie Ayres, Pete Newman, Steve Everett and Tom Griffiths rounding out the top five. Then you got Jamie Wilson, Ralph Cullinan, PVG, Leon Jenkins, Ollie Ricks, Andy McEwen, Luke Pullen, Martin Sampson, Dries Neese and Carl Hardy not scored points this season. In the AMS, it is Charles Kellerman out in front by 1 point over Colin Sampson, with Darren McLean not too far back at all, 6 back actually. Then you've got Fiona Siddons, Alan Toon, Craig Jones, Andy Littler, Michael Lake and Mick Barry, and then Sonia McPherson, Hansford and Morton have not joined in. Now over the 3 seasons, don't forget it is a tri-season, so Dan Hunt is currently leading the tri-season on 4.626 with Jamie Ayres on 4.386, then Pete Newman in 3.836 in third, Jamie Wilson in fourth, then PVG and Steve Everett 5th and 6th. Then you've got Ralph Cullinan, Tom Griffiths, Colin Sampson and Charles Kellerman. They're very close together again. Colin Sampson and Charles Kellerman taking the AM Championship, of course. Fiona Siddons, Darren McLean, Ollie Ricks, Alan Toon, Andy Littler, Darryl Wright, Martin Sampson and Steve Hansford round out the top 20. And then behind that, you got Roger Morton, Miles Owens, Craig Jones, Mick Barry, John Sylvester, Leon Jenkins, Ewan Bramer, Callum McPherson, Andrew McEwen, Shonier, Dennison, Pullen, Lewis, Lake, Neese and Hardy, rounding out the 34 drivers that have taken part over this tri-season here as well. Colin Sampson, good evening. You were in very, very early, dear sir. Just bought the track, so need to learn it quick as VR is not track map. Oh dear, enjoy that one. Gregor, mate, hi all, hi mate, and Phil across the pond. Good evening, James and Mike. No, that should be changed to Tom, Phil, if I'm not mistaken. If it isn't, I will resurrect that one now, to be blatantly honest. But Tom is in the booth with me. Tom, welcome in. How are you?
Hello, James. Hello to everyone. Yes, it is me. It's not Mike, as it was last week. Back in the booth this time around, and for the last time in 2024 for the UkSimracers, as I'm away, unfortunately, after this one, but looking to enjoy it here at the new Hampshire road course around this particular circuit. 2.5 kilometres long, of course. I've counted 23 corners to my understanding, James. But there's only like 3 designated corners with names around. So you've got the South Chicane, you've got the Carousel, and the S's towards the end of the laps. It's going to take quite something. We might have to make some stuff up as the night goes on.
That's all right. It's not the first time we do that. That's what we do for a living, Tom. That's what we do for a living as well. Sorry, evening, Tom. Thank you, Phil. I just checked that was actually me. I forgot to change it earlier on. Was in a bit of a pickle. I had to come back and after driving for 2 hours or whatever it was, and then I completely forgot to change it. So that was on me, Phil, not you. Don't worry too much. We are just about going into qualifying. We will have race 1 and race 2. Race 2 will be a top 12 reverse, which will be a full grid reverse here this evening. I think the track's got something to do with the fact that we've got some low numbers on the board. Then we will have a break. It will be a complete random grid for race number 3, and then we will let you know race 4's reverse a little bit later on. Now this New Hampshire, as you can see from the blimp shot there, very interesting circuit indeed. It's not your kind of traditional roval.
No, definitely not. I think you're going to be seeing a lot of drivers discovering where the overtaking spots are going to be at. Bear in mind, some of it is going to be cutting across. Some of it actually heads over the oval, James. So as you come out of the South Chicane and going up the hill, it's almost like heading onto a slip road on the M25 before you head back down through the infield and then back towards the oval towards the end of the lap. But it's going to take something to see all the action that we're going to see over the course of these 4 races. 15 minutes of qualifying, which has just commenced, followed by 4 15-minute races. As you mentioned, James, about the format, I won't go over it again. But of course, we'll have a randomised grid in race 3, and then whatever the reverse grid will be for race number 4 to round out the evening. But we are on circuit now with Craig Jones, who's looking to build on his success from last week. He took at least 1 race win, as far as I'm aware, last week It was on an American course that we went to. Now, bearing in mind, I wasn't here last week, so I'm just having to catch up on things.
It was at Barber Motorsport, and he won race number 1. There as well. There was only one man, I believe, that was on the was there one man on podium all night? Maybe. Some losing me marbles, possibly on that one. But we have got these cars are ready to go. Let's take you on a lap. As you can see now, we start this lap here. It is coming to the end of the lap, mind you, going in through the right-hander, and then he's going out again. This is up by turns, I think this is going to be turn number 5. This is coming down into the carousel. Now, this is the only Roval circuit that I can find that goes outside of the oval. They actually take this out into where the car park used to be before they changed it into a Roval circuit. So this is the Roval, or inner Roval, where we should be, but we're actually outside of the circuit. Then we enter back in to the circuit, coming through the right-hander. Then we're going to go left in through the S's, which is this almost straight run. And the only bit of the oval we actually physically use is this bit running out now where we are, because this is the start of the lap. We go down through lap 1 over the start finish line, then we duck in just on the entrance into turn 1, which is where we are now. We go left here, and then we duck in, and then we go right, and then we come back onto the oval again, just about there, just on the exit of turn 2, trying to stay out the wall. That's never good. We use the back straight of the oval, and then we turn off and go out of the circuit, which is what we're going to do now. So we're going to go right, we're going to go out of the circuit, and then we go into the outer park. So this is what I mean. This is one of the very few Rovals that actually take you outside of their circuit bounds.
Yeah, very, very interesting indeed. There, we just saw a lap from the number 29 there, and he looks to build on what he's just posted there. We're cutting away. This is the number 46 that was just going through there. I'm just trying to re-jog everything off this from my mind. It's Jamie Ayres, who we are focusing on as he approaches the end of what will be his second flying lap. Now, they are only using a single set of tyres, so when they start falling away, that's it. So these first set of laps could well be the ones to determine the grid. But unlike any other motor racing championship, where you line up on the grid doesn't really matter too much, because if you remain in the draft of the cars ahead, there's every chance you can gain all the time and positions to get a very, very strong result.
Yeah, this might be a very, very strong lap for Pete Newman, but I expect somewhere in there there's going to be a penalty, because he did run off track going around the final part. He ended up through the S's. He took a different line, should we say. Now we're going to go left, right. Now we've got to go tight left to the tyre barrier. We can hug that a little bit more because we want to stay away from the tyres on the exit. Now we're going to dig it in here. We're going to go left, and then we're going to go hard on the brakes again. Now this outer section is very, very interesting. If anybody drives Summit Point or have known Summit Point, this is kind of, I'm sure this is Summit Point based off the Summit Point layout. We go up and we go down, and then we go into the carousel, which is this long looping left-hander. Again, they have banked the left-hander, but it isn't really as effective as a normal banking curve. Then we're going to go left, and then we're going to go straighten this one up as much as possibly can. Go right, and then we're going to throw it into the left-hander here. Down here all the way, looping left, and then we're going to go into the right-hander again. This is going to bring us back into the inner part of the Roval. Yes, there is an inner and an outer. And for Pete Newman, he pulls it over there as well after smashing up his bumper. But it's a very, very interesting layout. Craig Jones has informed me, apparently, we did commentate, or I did commentate on a win he had here overall. Now I have done a lot since Craig Jones won here, so as I said to him, honestly mate, I can't really remember. He said, oh no, I did, and he swears blind that he did. So if he did, fair play to him. Jamie Wilson's in pit lane, and this is why Jamie Wilson is in pit lane actually. He's in that outer section, plunging down the hill. That car's going round me, unfortunately, for Mr. Wilson, and then ends up backing it up into the tyre barrier. So Wilson is in pit lane. Jamie Ayres is there with Hefford and Hunt, Dan Hunt, out in front at this moment in time as well. Ralph Cullinan going all green in 8. He's just coming into the S's section here. Have you ever driven this circuit, Tom, or any experience on this circuit?
No, not at all. I mean, certainly not on this layout of the New Hampshire circuit of any kind. Ralph Cullen going over the line, aiming for an improvement. He does improve his lap time, goes up to P3 with his latest effort. Charles Kellerman is the fastest out of all those in the AMS in 6th place overall. It's Darren McLean, Craig Jones, Colin Sanson and Sir Alan Toon, who's looking to build on his one-class victory he had picked up at Road America earlier in this autumn campaign. I'm trying to find how many class podiums he has now,
Who's
James,
that?
because Sir Alan Toon.
He had the win that we saw in, where was he, in round 8,
America.
yeah, I think it was. He took, I believe, he took a class podium in VIR, and that was, I think, that was one of the few times that he has actually ventured onto the podium as I look through my notes for this season. Can't see, oh no, podium in round 6, so that would 2 in round 6 actually, so that's, what's that, he took 1 win, 3 podiums, all the way back now to Silverstone, nothing at Silverstone, nothing at Brands, and then what about Donny? Did he take anything at Donny? Nothing at Donington, and then at Snetterton he didn't, so he's had 4 all season.
Well, that's actually very, very strong for Sir Alan Toon. He's had a really good autumn campaign. Let's just hope he can get another class podium at least out tonight, which is very much possible because there's only 5 AM drivers tonight. We would have liked to have seen more, but it is what it is. So we've got 7 in the Pro and 5 in the AM class competing tonight. As we see Colin Sanson move up the order, leapfrogging Charles Kellerman into 6th place overall and fastest out of all the AMs. Drivers are still trying to find the time at the moment. Ralph Cullen still going quicker than he has done before.
Yeah, he's got 2 greens at this moment in time. He's going to go left now. The looping left-hander that we've seen just goes on for absolutely ages. There we go, down a short little straight into the right-hander, back into the circuit, and then up through the S's section, which is this left-right. Then he's going to go around the other way. He's got to look at getting a... Oh, bang. There goes the lap for Ralph Cullen, because I can tell you now, that is going to be an off track. What about Jamie Ayres? Is he going to cope with the S's? Through he goes. He's going to be hard. And now, is he going to be able to stop that? Just about for Mr. Ayres. Comes back onto the race circuit. Here we go. What's he going to do as he goes over the line? No real improvements on the board. What about Colin Sanson in through the S's as well? Make sure he carries that speed. Don't hit that outside line, otherwise you're going to be in trouble. Onto the racetrack, back onto the oval. The front stretch now, over the line he goes. What is Colin Sanson going to do? Is he going to move up from 7th? He is. He jumps ahead of Mr. Charles Kellerman, his main championship rival. The AM fight is getting very, very spicy indeed.
Yeah, Kellerman leapfrogged Sanson for a moment. He set a purple in Sector 3 out of anyone, and that was enough for him to leapfrog Sanson into 6th place overall before Sanson responded. Darren McLean is on some form of improvement. He's green in Sector 3, so let's see how he gets on through the remainder of this. There is Darren McLean, 3rd in the AM class, looking to move up. He is less than 2 tenths off the fastest AM time set by Colin Sanson. So let's see if he can improve by at least a few thousandths.
Yeah, I don't think he's going to. He's got a yellow in sectors 4, yellow in 5. Unless that offset is absolutely epic on that green, he's going to struggle to make an improvement, and he does. Everybody else is struggling as well. Charles Kellerman not really making any improvements. Colin Sampson's not making any improvements. Craig Jones is not making any improvements. First time out on his new Moser wheel that he bought last week that turned up, and then he had last week I think he got it, no actually he got it Sunday or Monday if I'm not mistaken, and had to get it all set up ready to go. The site of course of his victory that he informed me of here as well. But another man that's not really improving, Jamie Ayres, is improving at the moment though, Tom, as he goes down into the carousel. Green
in Sector 1, yellow in Sector 2. How can he maintain some of the tyre life left? Well, he won't do it by running wide like that, unfortunately. Jamie Ayres may as well throw that one in the bin. So he is not going to improve, but he's going to try and complete the lap anyway. And you can just see they're beginning to struggle now. Darren McLean's gone green in Sector 4 as well, but He's just coming towards the end of his current lap. I don't think he's going to be improving this time around. So he stopped.
Yeah, stopped out on circuit. Darren McLean again improving in sector 4 now. What's he going to do? What's his offset going to do? Is he going to go over the line? Nothing again for Darren McLean. Craig Jones has got an improvement in sectors 4. Can he bury the last one? Don't run too wide. Oh, that's going to be very, very close on whether or not that's going to be an off track for Craig Jones. Let's see if he does get that lap and get over the line. What does he do here for Mr. Jones? No lap time. 14.12, I believe I've clocked him at. Same with Jamie Ayres on that. So very interesting running at this moment in time, and I think this could be a very interesting one for some of these drivers. I believe that is Charles Kellerman, who's just gone round there, sitting in 7th place for that optical green at the moment. I think this could be one of them continual features of people, well, unfortunately, doing that.
Yeah, well, thankfully you missed the tree there. That was just to the right of the car there, so hopefully we won't see anyone smashing the front nose of the machines into that. It's going to be quite intriguing to know how they tackle the middle section whilst they are racing, James, because we've seen what they're like over the course of single laps, but now the races are what going to matter the most for them. We'll find out soon enough. Craig Jones, 4th quickest in the AM class, aiming to improve his time. He won't do it on this lap. We'll have one more go at it.
Yeah, he will. But he isn't going to have much time. He's got to bury this at the moment. This is going to be his final throw of the dice. Hefford's got an improvement in section 4. Charles Kellerman still sat out in the bush there, set up for a picnic. As Steve Hefford is going to come over the line. An improvement in 4. What's he going to do on the board for Steve Hefford? Still 12.751. I wonder if that was an invalidated lap. I think we could see a lot of that.
Yeah, well, it was actually a valid one. It was a 1 minute 12.9 that he had posted, Steve Hefford. So he remains in 4th position. Ralph Cullenan's done a good job there, up there in 3rd place. He was in the running for a race win last week in Barber, if I remember correctly, and so he'll be aiming to build on that this evening.
Yep. Looking at getting quicker. I'm sure he will at some point, the Irishman. I'm sure he'll be able to come back even stronger and see how he gets on. That banking there at the carousel is very, very deceiving indeed. It almost makes you think they can take it faster than what they actually can.
Yes. No, that was almost reminiscent of the carousel that you find at Nordschleife. There are quite a few circuits around the world which have the words carousel or carousel, depending on what language you are following. But that could catch a few drivers out. We may see some overtakes there. You never know if someone may be brave enough to go for it. As we see Steve Hefford, who set a green in sector 4. He's heading over the line now, but I doubt it's going to be any quicker than what he posted than that 1 minute 12.751.
Yeah, there's a lot of invalidated laps at this moment in time. So it would be interesting to see how they get on in the race. That is a nasty bump coming out of there. That is leading on to the main circuit. Unfortunately, there's a bump behind that tyre barrier just on the entrance there that causes, I'm sure, will probably cause a lot of drama for some people, and they will unfortunately hit that bump, and we'll see what goes on here as well. But yeah, this is going to be a very, very interesting one indeed. Let's bring you up the grid for race number 1. Dan Hunt is on pole position. Jamie Ayres in 2nd. Ralph Cullen in 3rd. Steve Hefford 4th and PVG in 5th. Then we've got Colin Sampson leading the AMS with Charles Kellerman, Darren McLean, Pete Newman, Craig Jones, Alan Toon and Jamie Wilson here as well. I would say we'll worry about numbers, but if anybody's watched the UK Sim Races, you can probably say it really doesn't matter, because we will have great racing throughout this evening. I am sure once more of what's coming up here as well. First race 15 minutes, second race 15 minutes, we will have a break. Third race will be 15 minutes or random reverse, and the fourth race 15 minutes as well. 4 lates, 5 lates, Ladies and gentlemen, race 1 of round 11 of the full season is green, green, green. Dan Hunt gets off the line. Big move in the back from Mr. Wilson as well. He's come through past Jones and past Toon. Dan Hunt takes the whole shot going into turn 1. Jamie Ayres tucked in there. Ralph Cullinan grabbing third. Steve Evans, PVG, Colin Sampson. They are as they are right the way down to Mr. Wilson, who's the only man on the circuit to take places at the moment and is sitting up +2. Everybody else is as they were, Tom, and I think this could be the same for the whole of that one.
Yeah, well, he's got the job done there. It's Dan Hunt at the first corner there and pulling away ahead of Jamie Ayres and Ralph Cullinan. Not been involved in someone else's incident at the start, so he's maintaining his focus on the front two, and so he'll be looking to just get stuck in straight away, really. And they will be doing a lot of laps because of the nature of this course, so we're probably looking at around 13 laps at most, I would say, but it's a lot of laps.
Yeah, definitely. They're going to be going round and round and round and round here because it's only a minute 12 lap. But it's on board with Mr. Ayres chasing down Mr. Hunt. And there he is in front of us. You can see this run on to the start-finish straight, close as you can to the water barrels. However, you don't want to hit it like the pace car did in the NASCAR race. You want to stay away from that. And unlike the pace car in real life, you've got to go all the way around. You can't cut that corner anymore. Same here. Ayres is throwing this car around. And you see how much he's working, Tom, at this moment in time.
Yeah, Craig Jones in the pits at the end of lap 1. I wonder if he had jumped the start, hence why he had come in at the end of lap 1 there. So Craig Jones's race already ruined. Yeah, it looks like he's got a problem, hasn't he?
And he's put tyres on. There's one. Is he going to have to duck the other side as well? Yep. First boo-boo from Mr. Jones, but Mr. Cullinan and Mr. Heaven have had no such problems whatsoever and are now fighting out on the racetrack. This is for fourth and fourth overall, with fifth tucked in right behind. Darren McLean, unfortunately, where he's got past Colin Sampson. It's Colin Sampson who's lost a couple of places, dropped down the order out the lead of the AMs, and is sat in behind Mr. Charles Kellerman. But this battle still with Ralph Cullinan, still with Steve Evans, and is still carrying on here, Tom, as well.
Yeah, Stanson had a mistake around earlier on in the lap, hence why he dropped back. I think it was behind Kellerman to begin with, but a mistake round about the carousel section is what cost him time and positions. Meanwhile, we're looking at Hunt, Ayres, Cullinan, and the driver we are on board with, Steve Evans, in fourth position as they all made their way through the south chicane. We saw Jamie Ayres nearly drop it on the second lap. I can imagine we're going to see quite a few drivers fighting with the car all the way through that particular section of the course. I
wouldn't be surprised either if these guys carry on fighting. Pete Newman is going to be right on the back of this. But the problem for these guys is Newman's bringing along Kellerman, he's bringing along Wilson, he's bringing along McLean and Sampson, and that could end up with a full grid fighting it out once more as they continue to scrap further up there. PVG in there as well in that machine number 39. Momo with the white fists on the front bumper is the only ones in Momo with that on his car. Steve Evans does not have that, neither does Jamie Ayres. That is what makes PVG so recognisable, but at the moment he is tucked in behind his teammate, chasing down Cullinan through the final S's onto the start finish straight as well into the Geico restart zone, and now they are off on the run on the main oval circuit, coming into turn 1. The left-hander hard on the brakes. You see them brake in different lines all the way through. PVG's opened it up. He's going to have a great run through 1. What about coming out of 2? What about coming out of 3? He had a great run through turn 1 there, Tom, and it just goes to show you've got to open it up as much as possible.
Yeah, so having to fend off PVG for the time being and just try and find his own line as the race goes on. There is the benefit of the draft, where if you are closer to the car ahead, you're able to reap the benefits of. Now, if you go back to Daytona in this summer campaign, James, where pretty much the entire field was just nose to tail, like any one of 10 to 12 drivers could have been in the lead in a blink of an eye. I'm not saying we'll get that here because of the nature of this particular circuit, but it's kind of going to be somewhere along those lines. But they are in single file for now.
Yeah, they definitely are. Here they come now into turn number 1, or effectively the final turn in, and they're coming into the oval. which is where that is there, and now they're running into turn number 1. Dan Hunt, Jamie Ayres, Cullinan, Hefford, PBG, all not moved places. Pete Newman up 3, he's dropped Charles Kellerman, Jamie Wilson, Darren McLean, Colin Sampson and Sir Alan 2, all been left on the wake side. Craig Jones out. Oh, nope, he's still in pit road, and I expect him to still be there as well. In YouTube chat, new steering wheel didn't set up the clutch, so vital part of machinery.
Yeah, I think he's probably going to need that at some point. You just see Hefford and PBG slight contact there as the track heads into its infield. As we've seen Wilson go through on Kellerman for position there. Kellerman in his own battle with Darren McLean. So that battle will rage on in the near future. But PBG getting closer to Hefford, but Hefford just able to hold on for now.
Yeah, he is at this moment in time. But PBG is not lightening up. The problem for PBG is this man is closing down at a rapid rate of knots. Pete Newman is coming now. You can see him steering left to go right. It's almost out of a Lightning McQueen movie here. And he's still doing the same thing. He's trying to put as much pressure on. That is not going to help him there as he goes off the circuit. This is the AMs. Charles Kellerman, McLean, Sampson all fighting out as well. That AM battle is looking very, very spicy as they're all going down into turn 1 at the moment. There they are in the background. There's Wilson, there's Kellerman, there's McLean and there's Sampson as they continue to fight here. As it goes to show the 3 AMs, leading AMs mind you, all fighting out on the race track.
Yeah, good battle raging on now between Kellerman, McLean and Sanson. Sanson getting back in the fight after his mistake on the second lap. Cullinan overtaken by Hefford for 3rd place. We didn't see the overtake, but Hefford has found his way through on the Irishman and now can set his sights on Jamie Ayres for 2nd position. There is Cullinan, who lost the place at the expense of Hefford. Did Hefford send one on the inside, or did Cullinan run in too deep?
Oh, he's running too deep. He's bounced too much of that curb. That's going to be a slowdown all day. Bounced too much of the curb going on to the outfield as such, and that unfortunately gave him that slowdown. And now he's got to try and go himself with Steve Hefford. Sampson's trying to go at McLean, coming through into the S's now. The battle in the AMs is getting spicy here. And at the moment, Colin Sampson closing in on Darren McLean. McLean is closing in on Kellerman. Kellerman trying to hold on to Wilson. Cullinan and Hefford now going side by side into turn 1. And Hefford manages to hold on. But Cullinan's looking quick here.
He did, but he's not taking exactly the best line through the south chicane part there, especially turn number 1. But now he's opened himself up for an attack from PBG. He's looking to send one to the outside for the right-hander. This is where Cullinan got that slowdown earlier. I hope not to get it again here. I don't think he has this time around, but you can just see 3rd to 6th glued together now.
Yeah. Coming into the carousel, PBG's muscling out. Cullinan's going to use that banking to help in there. Newman's going to try and use it as well. It's almost a Zambor-esque, the banking. You've got to make sure you're in the right little place, and Newman did. Cullinan still can't clear Hefford. Newman still can't get him either. They're going to fight it out. These guys are in their own voice chat at this moment in time. Here he goes. Still continuing the fight. If he didn't get a slowdown, Craig, I'd be very, very surprised there. He bounced too much of that inside curb. So I will be surprised if he didn't. Hefford's on the defense. Cullinan tucked him right behind him. Pulls to the left-hand side. The white, green and red machine looking for that run round turn 1. Hefford's on the inside. Newman's going to get there as well. Side by side, Pete Newman's going to run up the inside of turn number 2. Is he going to be able to make it through? No. Back onto the main circuit we go. I've got a funny feeling Newman's under attack from PBG. PBG, big slide going out. Hefford now into that double right-hander, still under pressure from Pete Newman.
Sensational overtake from Ralph Cullinan, making sure that it was as difficult as it was for Steve Hefford to hold back there, and Ralph Cullinan just taking no prisoners there and going through into 3rd place. And he's got a long way to catch up though on Jamie Ayres if he's to have any chance of the win later on. But Dan Hunt in full control, which is not often we say in UK SimRacers.
Yeah, 1.8 seconds up the road. Ayres is in 2nd place. He's ahead 2.3 of this battle. These guys continue now. Newman's looking spicy there. Not even an off track unless you're really close to the tyres. Well, I am quite surprised at that. That one I get. That will just be an off track. I'll be very surprised you get anything else. Pete Newman now looking for the run down the start finish straight. He's looking for that inside line. Personally, I'd want to go outside. but Newman's opting for the inside. Is he going to be able to get through? Yes. Can he clear Cullinan? 2v2, nearly. Yes, he's through, Pete Newman, 2 for 1.
Yeah, that was a brilliant overtake there from Newman, and such the tightest of lines as well for that particular left-hander. And now he's up into the podium places. Cullinan, well, he just needs to be careful. He needs to watch for Steve Efford there as he took the off the line there, away from the apex, and now he's giving himself a bit of a chance to try and go back through on Newman into Carousel. Oh, they've glided!
Oh, no! Wow! How did that even start? The side by side. Oh, Newman drifted out and into Ralph Cullinan. Not really sure Cullinan had anywhere to go there. PBG, Steve Efford back together. Cullinan's in the pits. He can go and have a cup of tea with his mate Craig Jones. Newman's in there now. But it's now just Efford, PBG, Ayres and Hunt are your 1, 2, 3, 4 with PBG trying to get a second place. Slight little contact, that was it.
Yeah, this is the closest battle we've got on circuit at the moment, as the rest are pretty much spaced out, apart from Charles Kellerman and Darren McLean, which we'll head to in a moment to see how they are getting on. Parfitt holding off PVG for now as the race continues to get into its closing stages. Will it be a 12-lap race or will it be 13?
We'll find out. We'll keep an eye on Dan Hunt and we'll see how he goes over the line through the left-hander. Hunt is at the top part of the circuit. These guys just coming into that carousel. He likes spending time with me. Well, yeah, somebody has to on that one. McLean's still in there with Charles Kellerman and Colin Sampson as they're having a right little ding-dong further back. Dan Hunt is going to be there. This is going to be at least 2 more, maybe even 3 laps. I think it's going to be a 13-lapper. PVG, big old slide chasing down Steve Efford.
Yeah, the PVG getting well out of shape there. Had to use the time to just gather it all up and go again. But he's got a couple more laps, I would say 3 laps to go with the way the lap times are coming around. But it's been a brilliant race so far for Dan Hunt, who has made no mistake from the race start, but the brilliant recovery drive from Colin Sanson following that mistake he had on the second lap has pulled out a 9-second margin over Charles Kellerman. Very impressive.
Yeah. He's done a great job at the moment, and there's Colin Sampson. But he's still going to be in where he is, leading the arms, of course, and taking that victory. But it's going to be, I don't really know what these guys are going to do here. Sometimes I do wonder whether or not the Momo boys fight, and then we see them fight, and then we see them have a collision, and Pete's just not looking aggressive enough for me.
Yeah, he's not exactly going for it, is he? It's almost like with Ralph Cullinan we've seen from the past, where he's not exactly the bravest on the brakes, or even sending it on drivers, because he fears he fears it's going to end up in a collision and just throw everything away. So PVG is focusing more on just bringing the car home. And to be fair, to stick up for him, he's made so many mistakes throughout this season. Looking at the number of non-finishes he's had, Pete Van Gool, if I can just find it, it's got 5 to his name, which he's only started. How many times has he started a race in this autumn campaign? He's done 28 races. But I remember in the autumn period, in the summer period, sorry, he had so many in the double digits.
Darren McLean in there now, fighting with Kellerman. This is for second in the arms. There's going to be 1 more lap after this. It is going to be 13. Kellerman managing to hold on. I'm surprised McLean pulled out there. I thought he might have tucked in behind, which might have been the better option. Oh, no way. No way did they just do this. Steve Efford and PVG. He's going to push him round.
Oh, for goodness
no.
sake. I just hope he's allowed him to keep all that place. He has done there as PVG,
Yeah.
but that was a silly mistake to make from his point of view.
Yeah, Wilson's now in there now. He's having a go. He's alongside PVG. Jamie Wilson takes a position away. That's 4 for Wilson, who's going to set on his way. Dan Hunt going to come over the line. That should be the final lap of the race, but these guys continuing. Wilson's going to have a better run. He could literally, he could have pinched him into the tyre barrier. Jamie Wilson There is Barney waving. There is Steve Hefford. There is PVG. And at the moment, Wilson's just cleared both of them after they had their own coming together. There's Hefford on the inside. Contact again. Wilson's really going to squeeze him against the wall. Didn't have to leave him room, but chose to leave him room. Hefford there now once again into the left-hander. Wilson should have the inside line this time around. He does. Hard on the brakes he goes through the right-hander and into the out section of this racetrack. But Mr. Dan Hunt done a great job here, looking like he's going to wrap up race number one.
Very, very confident drive from Dan Hunt. Very mature one as well, which has taken him ever so closer to sealing both the autumn and the 2024 championship. And I think he'll be very happy to see this one go through the way it has done, and he comes around to take victory.
Yeah, he does. Here he goes over the line. Dan Hunt is your winner. Jamie Ayres is going to come over, take second. What's going on here? Well, at the moment, it looks like Wilson's going to grab third. There is going to be a run down to the line from Steve Hefford, but I've got a funny feeling it ain't going to make a difference. He hasn't got long enough to get there, I don't think. If it was Dega or anywhere Daytona, I would say he would, but he doesn't. Colin Sanson comes over in the AMS. Great job from him. Looks like Kellerman might hold on to second place just with McLean in third. This is going to put Craig Jones on pole for race number 2.
Yeah, like you say, it's going to be a full grid reverse. Well done to Colin Sanson, taking him closer to sealing the AM Championship as well, at least for the autumn. But it's a good first race. Ellington, we're just waiting on getting over the line. Fortunate to miss out on the podium, but we'll get 3 more chances to try and put that right. And a great, great drive from Dan Hunt. He knew what he needed to do, and he did it ever so brilliantly. And it was a confident drive ahead of Jamie Ayres, who was always going to be on his tail for a bit until Hunt was going to be in control all the way to the end.
Here are the results from race number 1. Dan Hunt is your winner with Jamie Ayres in second, Jamie Wilson third, Steve Hefford and PVG round out the top 5. That is all pros. Then you got Colin Sampson in 6th, Charles Kellerman, Darren McLean, Sir Alan Toon. That's the 1 to 4 of AMS. Ralph Cullen in 10th, Pete Newman 11th, and Craig Jones down in 12th. Not a banger. I think we can safely say it isn't on the board of classics.
No, we hope that race 2 can deliver a little bit more. I don't think we had a wet race in Barber last week, James, and I don't know whether we'll get one tonight. No, so we'll see whether we will get one here. Bearing in mind, we are towards the back end of the year, which means there is a better chance we may get a race under the lights later.
Maybe. We'll see whether or not they're going to bring rain to the table, of course. Don't forget, if you are here, guys, say hi. You can, and we will have a chat with you. Jones is out on the circuit. You can just see him in the top part of your picture going round the long left-hander before coming back onto the in section here of this race circuit. But he's the only one out practicing. Of course, barely got any laps in race number 1 due to a boo-boo with his new steering wheel.
We hope to see Craig in the fight this time after pitting in the end of the first lap in that first race due to clutch issues, let's just say, which is going to be a vital part of having that machine underneath him. With these cars, James, are they manually operated, the gearboxes? Because you will obviously need a clutch to help operate the shifting between gears.
Yeah, they normally use what they call auto blip, which is clutch assisted gear changing. You can turn it off completely if you really want to be clever. I do drive in the V8, so I don't actually have a clutch. I do it all myself. But most of these got auto blip, and they're probably the H shifter, I believe, has actually been taken away from the MX5. There isn't many cars that have got H shifters now in iRacing, so it's just a straight up and down on the right, up for the right, down for the left, and that's the way they drive, and it makes it very, very easy and straightforward for them.
Just looking on the Mazda MX5 then, the current generation of it, because this is the 4th generation of Mazda MX5, the ND specification, which has been around since 2015. Apparently it was upgraded. An updated model was introduced in 2019. It is visually identical to the pre-update model. The engine was upgraded to 135 kilowatts, which is the equivalent of 181 horsepower. is something to know about. These are rear-wheel drive, these machines, as far as I know. They're definitely not four-wheel drive. I remember having that discussion with you, James, during the Silverstone round. But that tells you everything you need to know about these Mazda MX-5s. They're very nimble as well and very easy to lose control of, let's say.
Yeah, I think that's the thing. Since the updated MX-5 model in iRacing. Now, when you drove the MX-5, it was a very tight car. You could literally point, shoot, and aim. And then they updated it, and basically it come out that the back end was very, very unstable. And it was more resembling to real world and real life than normal, and people were a little bit confused by it all. But these guys, obviously, if you like a loose car like Jamie Ayres did, who likes the back end coming round on him and stuff like that, it's an ideal way. And the cars are still a great beginner car. You know, you've got the Formula V as well, which is a great, amazing open wheel beginner car. You've got the MX-5 for tin tops, and you can have a go on it, and you can do that in rookies. And I think this is the thing, since a lot of the updates, a lot of evolvement of the cars, they're now getting more and more real, you know, and I think a lot more and more drivers are coming on board and enjoying what they're seeing. You know, there's obviously the hardcore fans of certain classes that never gets updated, TCRs, iRacing, that have been waiting for updates longer than I can care to get 6 more GT3s I think we've had in the meantime, you know, and you know, and that's the thing, there's a lot of cars that are waiting and could do with a lot more updating as well. But the MX-5 at the moment, touch wood, they haven't touched it since their last update, which was a year ago, maybe. Oh, trying to think back now. Probably about a year ago, on the end of last season, on the end of season 4 of 2023, and it's in a good place, and they've left it alone, which is great. You know, obviously the adding of the rain dynamics and the rain tyres, but personally, you know, I would love to see other cars. I think there's more that really could do with an update than these, and I think that's the thing, I think, for this situation. But there you go. Let's get the grid up for race number 2, which will be coming very, very shortly. Full reverse grid. So that should put Craig Jones on pole. It does. Newman 2nd, Cullinan 3rd, Tooney in 4th, McLean 5th, Kellerman 6th, Sampson 7th, PVG, Steve Everett, Wilson, Ayres and Hunt round out the full grid. There is Craig Jones sitting on pole. Let's hope he's sorted his clutch out this time, as we're going to be up and running very, very shortly indeed. It is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Race 2 before we go to break is green. Jones did get off the line this time. Newman's on that outside line. Jones really needs to be to the left and give him, trying to squeeze it maybe a little bit. Jones is going to manage on to take the whole shot, but I don't think this is going to be long. Tooney's in there as well, giving it a good old go. Go on, Al, have some of it, son. As he's hugging that outside line, he's got to try and make sure he can stay ahead. This is the thing with this circuit in Alan Toon. This circuit is quite tight, and if you position your car properly, you can hold on to the positions that you've got from the start.
Yeah, and PVG nearly ran into him as they enter the infield now. As PVG goes to the outside of Toon, this should be light work for PVG to get round the outside. This is where you want to be. You want to be on the outside instead of the inside. And there you go, that was as sweet as you like there for PVG. Wilson going through as well. The Kellerman looking to find a way through. So I think Toon is going to be a sifting dart to these drivers, unfortunately, as much as I hate to say that. But they are heading through now. Newman ahead of Jones for the lead.
Yeah, Jones, I think, made a mistake there, and Pete Newman did capitalise, sorry, as I put my teeth in. We will have a look back. Cullinan's just gotten through. And this is going down into, where are we at the moment on this side of the circuit, coming through the right-hander into that outfield. Jones got down on the inside, and Newman went through. Cullinan, I believe, has also gone through, but it's now where Craig Jones's fight lies. It lies with the man behind him. It lies with Darren McLean, fighting it out in the arms. Tooney's in there. He's got Sampson's just taking him. Hefford's trying to rush through. Ayres is trying to rush through. Dan Hunt up 4, biggest gainers of race race number 2, because Wilson has just gone down a position. He was also up 5 at the moment, but he's made it through over PVG. For how long? Not that long. PVG is going to have the inside for the carousel, and now Wilson's going to try and run it as fast as he can here. Not going to be able to get it done this time. Looking for the switchback, but Jamie Wilson, PVG having a right go at each other.
Very, very good battle going on. 3rd and 4th in class, these two, PVG and Wilson. Wilson going to the inside. Contact made. PVG just about leaves him enough for him to get through, but that was so nearly the pair of them off the road.
Yeah, absolutely. Contact's always tough there. And obviously with PVG being involved in his own little ta-ta-ta in race number 2. Where is he? Race number 1. Where are you going there, Pete? Big old,
out of control.
yeah, he's got a big old squirrel on. The tyres are loose as they come here. McLean is losing time on Jones. Jones is about nearly a second in front. Van Gaal has just lost a place to Dan Hunt, and Colin Sanson, who are also fighting out in the arms, continue to fight. So there's some very, very important battles on the racetrack at the moment.
Yeah, and Newman doing his best to pull away from Rathconnen. A good chance for Newman to collect another victory for himself. Looking at his form at the moment for Pete Newman, is just trying to look through his recent run of form at the moment. He won 2 races last week in Barber. He didn't win any in VIR, but he did win race number 1 at Road America, and now he's got a good chance to go for a race 2 win here, as we see Sanson and Kellerman go toe to toe. They were battling for the victory, class victory that was in race number 1. Now they're battling for the final podium position in class. They've got quite some way to catch up to Jones and McLean at the moment.
Yeah, but he's going to try and put it in there. It's Samson, but he's got PVG, Hunt, Wilson in there. McLean's there. He's losing time to Jones now, 1.5 seconds to Mr. Jones, who is leading the AMS. He's now moving on to the back of Cullinan. Hepford is now moving on to the back of Kellerman with Sampson. So this could be quite interesting for Steve Evans and the likes of Jamie Ayres here. How are they going to muster the 2 leading AMS fighting it out?
Well, I'm amazed that Jamie Ayres has taken as long as he is doing to get by the AMS. I'd have thought he'd be ahead of them by this stage. But you can see McLean's gone for a spin somewhere, and he's in the pits and he's out of the race.
Oh, was that all on his own? For Darren McLean.
Whoa! Oh, he's cut the wall. He clipped the barrier as he exited the last turn onto the pit straight.
That was very, very random indeed.
No, this is actually out of the south chicane, James. This was before they go into the infield. He clipped the inside barrier.
Yeah, he hit it there. Very weird. Very weird. Steve Evans, Kellerman and Ayres, it looked like he wasn't anywhere near the barrier. That's the point of it. Dan Hunt, PVG, and behind closing down on Wilson.
Yeah, that's a shame there for McLean. Out of the race, unfortunately. He'll be ruining that. We're 5 minutes into this one now, and Newman doing a good job to keep Cullinan at bay. But how long will it be before the likes of Wilson, Hunt, and maybe PVG get in on the act?
Well, it isn't going to be long, but it depends on what Jones can do here. He's got to get a hurry on. He's got to get a bite, a shift on, because otherwise he's going to have these guys coming in behind him rapid. And the problem is when they gets 1, 2 more come along. They're like London buses. You wait ages for 1, and then you get 3. And that's the thing for Jones. He's going to wait ages for them to catch him, and then he's going to get 3 of them trying to come past him, which is then going to put him back, slow him down. It's going to put him back into the clutches of Sampson and Kellerman, which is where he doesn't really want to be, because at the end of the day, they're all fighting out in class with 9 minutes to go.
Cullinan takes the lead from Newman, James. He's got the move done. I think Newman's made a mistake. He has done. He's in the wall. He's out.
Oh. Was that?
Yeah, he's done it by himself.
Oh.
Yeah, he had a tank slapper and then just dropped it completely.
Yeah, drove straight into the wall. I think, as you say, he missed a lot. Coming through. There you go. There's the turn.
He was already losing it just before he got to the apex. If we ride on board with him, if we can, you'll notice that the car was already sliding just before you hit the apex.
Yeah. There he goes, and now he's just fighting with it constantly. Bang, Pete. Ooh. Unfortunately for Pete Newman, Charles Kellerman looks like he's also had a moment. Darren McLean's in pit lane. There is Kellerman, drops it, still in third. Jones is now second overall, but it's just about to get swamped here, and he needs to be a little bit careful because him and Hunt have had their own little moments on the racetrack, and have well, it was more punt to pass than it was for the position passed cleanly, shall we say.
Yeah, they're all touching the grass on the exit of the S's and heading onto the pit straight. Now you can see the lead that Ralph Cullinan has got. Surely he cannot be caught from here, but it's very easy for the gap to come down in quite a flash. We see Wilson go to the inside into the south chicane. Jones reads it, forces Wilson onto the curb, and Wilson's still not able to find a way through. Oh, did he clip the wall? I think he just got away with it, but it almost looked like he clipped the wall there on the exit of the chicane.
Jones stood up in front, holding on. Hunt's going to try and go through on Wilson. Wilson's going to have that outside line. Jones is in his own little fight here. He's choosing to defend, but to be blatantly honest, I would as well, because I don't want to be caught up with my counterparts all the way down in Sigfrid. They're going to come at him here as well. He manages to hold on, tank slapper from PVG. That was caused by the curb. Hunt's coming one more. He's still managing to try and get close to Jones through the left-hander.
Oh, it's coming. The contacts, Gull and Wilson, they've both gone round.
What's that on the inside here for PVG?
It was on the outside for PVG.
Oh,
yeah.
He just hangs on to him and then puts him straight off. But Wilson, Jones still holding on, Pete still going. Hunt's trying to loop round the inside. He did. Jones is going to have a faster run. Jones is going to get the into two. He's now going to look for three. He's taken that far too quick. I think Hunt's going to get him into the next right-hander here.
Yeah, unless he can absolutely send it to the inside there, Craig Jones on Dan Hunt. He knows what Hunt is like. He's coming back through. Surely he's cut the corner there. That might give him a slow down, bumping all the way through there. Jones absolutely not having it. But Hunt has got through at last, and Jones has now got PVG filling in his mirrors.
Yeah, he gave it a good old go. PVG is going to try and run around the outside now. Here's Jones going to try and cover him off. He's not. He's going to have the inside for the left-hander all the way round. PVG's going to have the inside for the right. I'm sure Wilson might be a little bit upset by that one.
Yeah, he won't be too happy with that, will Craig Jones, but at least he's still in the class lead. For the time being, you see PVG getting slightly out of shape there, and Jones was able to read that and had to lift off the throttle for the time being. Jamie Ayres is on the tail of Colin Sampson now, so come away from Jamie Ayres for quite some time, but at least he's on course for a fourth place finish in the pro class, which is not what he wanted from race 2. Ralph Cullinan on course for his second pro win of the season, or second overall win in this autumn campaign, unless he makes a mistake similar to what Pete Newman did, but he shouldn't do so.
Yeah. Cullinan should be able to wrap this one up. He's going to have a good 4 more laps to go. Ayres and Sampson side by side. Ayres is on the left in the Momo black and red. Sampson in the year 1 is going to have the inside line onto the brakes. He's going to go through the carousel. Ayres is going to get a better run and look for the exit here. He is going to have that exit. He's going to sneak up the inside. He is going to get the job done. At the moment, no. Sampson has got the inside line going into the right-hander. No, he has not. He should have had round the outside, but didn't manage to hold it on that one. PVG is cleared Jones. Jones is still leading the arms, and now he's got Jamie Ayres coming at him.
Yeah, Ayres will be on the tail of Jones rather soon, I would have thought. Jones will want to do his best to hold back Ayres in the closing stages. Jones is staying in touch with PVG, though, staying within the draft of the Dutchman as the clocks as the laps tick down, and it'll be a good result there for Craig Jones, picking up a class win to make up for race 1 that he had missed. Hunt is dropped away a little bit there. Has he made a mistake through the south chicane? Yes, he's lost the whole second. I wonder if he's had either a slowdown or he's clipped the barrier, just like what we saw from Darren McLean.
Yeah, Dan Hunt now coming into the carousel. Brown, the left-hander, still sitting in second place. PVG there. Jones tucked in right behind him. He's moved on, trying to hold on to the draft of PVG to pull him forward here. And hopefully for Craig, he'll be able to stay where he is currently. But he'll do a good job of winning the AMS here as well.
Got 3 laps to go at the end of this one. Ralph Cullinan coming round to complete his 10th lap of the race. Now, bearing in mind lap times of 1 minute 12 or 1 minute 13. With Cullinan going over the line with over 2 minutes and 40 seconds to go. So it will be a 13-lap race again. If we can just see Hunt, PVG and Jones nose to tail. Hunt is not going to be taking the race to win unless something happens to Ralph Cullinan. But we can just see, this is the closest battle we've got right now. So that you know. That's why we're staying in touch with this one. Ayres has found his way through on Sanson not too long ago. He isn't quite gaining enough on Craig Jones for the time being.
Yeah, he's trying, but he isn't quite close enough. Van Gaal, however, is slowly in behind Hunt. He's 7 tenths back. Jones is 1.3. He can't really afford to lose any more time over the next 2 laps, otherwise he's going to be in trouble. As Sampson, Hefford, Kellerman, Wilson and Toon still continue to fight on the circuit. And I think for these guys, it's going to be very, very interesting indeed for race number 3. Complete random reverse grid for race number 3. PVG, though, climbing onto the back of Dan Hunt. He's going to have, what's that, 2 more laps to go for Ralph Cullinan, who just crossed over in time. Yep, Barney's not waving as of yet. So these guys have got 1 and 1 more to go. There you go.
Yeah. Cullinan should take it easy here. I know Hunt is getting the gap down slightly now. 7 seconds coming back to, but Cullinan can afford to lose 3 seconds on each. Oh, and I think PVG hit the wall. He hit the outside wall on the exit of the south chicane, and that might give Jones a little bit of encouragement.
Yeah, Jones is there. I don't think he really needs to worry too much, though. He's leading the AMS. He's got about 5.2 seconds, I believe it is. It's actually 5.4 seconds to Colin Sampson. So for Craig Jones, just keep it on the racetrack, mate. Keep it on the circuit and you'll be all right. But Ralph Cullinan doing exactly the same thing. He's kept it on the racetrack. He's going to come over the line in first place. And he's just got 1 more lap to go. That's basically it. The Irishman's had quite an easy run.
Yeah, he's had a really good performance so far this evening, is Cullinan. I know he had the accident he had with Pete Newman in the first race, which was not good by his standards, but he's made up for it in race 2, getting by Craig Jones at the beginning and then just pulling out that gap over the others, which are ever so craved. But no one's going to stop him in this one. Very, very well done to Ralph Cullinan, and very, very well deserved.
Yeah, absolutely. Craig Jones has got onto the back of PVG, but I don't really feel he really needs to push this situation for Mr. Jones. He's better off staying where he is, using PVG as a buffer, using him as a tow rope, using him as whatever you want to call him, as a tow truck. I don't really mind, but I think it's silly if he starts getting himself involved unless he really wants to have a go with him. But at the moment, I think it's completely pointless. But Ralph Cullinan through the looping left-hander back into the stadium again for the final time of race number 2 through the S's. He's got the left-hander. Now he's got to get the exit. There you go. He's going to come over the line. He's going to wrap up the victory in race number 2. Ralph Cullinan takes that back victory into. Great job from him. Dan Hunt is going to come over the line and wrap up third. Jamie Ayres is going to take third in the AMS. 4th overall. How did Jones get past Ayres? Bit weird.
I think there's been contact between the pair of them, unless PVG had a spin.
Oh yes, because he was ahead of.
Yes, he was. I think I want to be able to slow down. There, did PVG, but either way, that cost him the pro podium. And you can see Svenson going over the line. I'll let you run down on the result from race number 2.
Yeah, the final results here. Ralph Cullinan is your winner for race number 2. Dan Hunt there as well. Craig Jones in 3rd, wrapping up the AM victory. Jamie Ayres wrapping out the podium for the pros. PVG in 5th. Colin Sampson in 6th. Steve Hefford, Charles Kellerman taking the final podium spot in the AMs. Then you got Jamie Wilson, Sir Alan Toon, Pete Newman and Darren McLean. Get in there, Ralph boy, says Andy Littler and Darryl Wright. Good evening, everyone. You have just come in, boys. Right at the moment, we're going to take a break for race number 2. So I'll see you after this break. Okay, guys, we are back for race number 4. I can tell you the reverse grid is going to be a full grid reverse. Top 14 for race number 4. We'll see a complete random reverse for race number 3. We will advance a session as we normally do here as well. I'm sure all the cars are in and ready to go. Steve Everett out on track there as well. Race 1 and 2. Not my favourite races of the season.
No, definitely not, and certainly not mine either. So hopefully we'll get more in races 3 and 4. Will the weather play a part? Will daylight fall as it goes round here at New Hampshire? What time are we on over there, James? Just so that
it is currently 14:30 in the afternoon.
Okay, so we've got a bit of time yet, but hopefully we'll get. I think race 2 definitely had more because of the reverse grid. We'll probably get some more in the randomised, and we'll get more of it in the reverse grid. So I think race 1 we can almost say was a write-off because of where they were in qualifying. In the second race, it definitely had a lot more in there.
Yep, it definitely did, but still not my favourite. Not my favourite. This track is providing some interesting scenarios here as we've got about hopefully a couple of minutes left of practice before we get this underway. Don't forget, if you are here, say hi. We will say hi to you as well. Don't forget, like, subscribe, turn on the bells, and we will see how it all goes, and you will be up to date with the racing that's coming up this week on JPB. But let's see how these guys get on for race number 3 and number 4. 1:11.702 from Hunt in practice at the moment.
So just seeing drivers on circuit during this warm-up, or practice, if you want to call it. It won't be 30 minutes long for your information. It'll be a few minutes at most before we get the randomised grid up for race 3. Who is going to build on what we've seen? Can Ralph Cullinan keep it up in the remaining races for tonight? We'll wait and see. Hopefully we'll get a better grid for the season finale at the Saxon Ring. It is the last round of 2024 for the UK SimRacers Championship. But, you know, you never know. Next season, will we see more competing?
Possibly. Possibly. But we'll have to see how their recruitment drive goes for the winter season. Still waiting for final confirmation on what the situation will be on the broadcasting for this on a Tuesday night. But we will see what happens and go from there. I'm sure I'll have a chat with the admins very, very shortly, coming up probably this week. So stay tuned for that one and seeing whether or not what the situation will be. To be blatantly honest, it's their off season. So even if they don't run anything, well, we'll see what they do in general on that one. They might go and recruit for a few months before we get going again in January. But 1 minute, should be a couple of minutes left before we get moving over to race number 3. And it's race 1 and 2 been interesting, I suppose, ish, but race 3 and 4 is normally where the racing takes kind of goes up a level.
Yeah, just waiting for the drivers to get ready for this third race. I mean, you have to say that Dan Hunt's got one hand on that championship trophy at the moment with the way the season has played out. There are drop scores involved in the autumn season, bear that in mind, but Dan Hunt looking good for another championship. I don't know if he's even won the UK SimRacers Championship before, has he?
Let me have a look on that one, whether or not he has taken a win before. Go back onto their history sheets. Yes, Dan Hunt won in 2021.
He's looking good for another championship to get to his name. Not sure how he'll place that on his CV, just to say, yeah, I've won the UK SimRacers Championship on 2 occasions, but he'll tell everyone that he is very much in love with iRacing. I think it's safe to say with those...
I think that's the thing. That's the realization, isn't it? You can win a championship and it's probably not going to help you get a job in real life. Do you know what I mean? You're not going to affect world peace or anything like that. It's just for fun and enjoyment, and that's why a lot of these guys have been together for well, a good few years or more, probably topping north of 5 years. I would have thought that they've all been racing together, and you don't do that if you don't enjoy what you do. So at the moment, these guys are the core group, and we will see if anybody else does join in the off season for the winter series. So let's see what goes on. We are just waiting for them to advance so we can move forward with it and go into race number 3. It would be good if they could advance the session.
So we're just close to the end of this practice session then. We're looking at Steve Hefford, who is close it, but I think he's continuing on his way. And he'll just be eager to put race 2 behind him, because he didn't have the best of races in race 2, did Hefford? But he's got a chance to make up for that in race number 3. Just seeing Ralph Cullinan pull to the side. He's eager to go and keep up the momentum all the way to the
Absolutely. We will see how he gets on for race number 3. Of course, complete random reverse grid. And unfortunately, Steve Evers just went and hit the wall. But let's get this going, boys. Come on. Let's sit here for another 8.5 minutes as we wait for them to advance it forward. And we'll be able to get into it. There you go. Finally on that one. Right, let's bring you up the grid for race number 3 when it switches over. And then we've got one more race to go after this, which will be race number 4. Final race of the evening. Jamie Ayres will be on pole with Steve Evans alongside him, Pete Newman. Then you've got Charles Kellerman, Dan Hunt, Craig Jones leading the hounds. PVG, Ralph Cullen, Darren McLean, Colin Sampson, Sir Alan Toon, Jamie Wilson at the back. So, unfortunately for Mr. Wilson, he's going to have to try and come through the order again. Okay, what was that man doing, bruh? I have no idea, Sven. Taking a trip across the grass. There we go. Having some fun while he's out there. It was only warm-up. If he did it here, I'd be a little bit worried. So hold on to your hats, Sven, because this is where it's all going to kick off. 3, 4, 5. Race 3 is green, green, green. Hefford's covered off Newman straight away. He come all the way from the left to the right-hand side, covered him off. They're almost going 3 wide into turn number 1, but it is Jamie Ayres who's going to take that whole shot. Newman gets a little bit of a push through from Pete Newman. Hunt's in there, PVG's in there. Kellerman's leaking positions at this moment in time for Charles Kellerman. Down 3 places. Craig Jones cleared him. Ralph Cullinan's now also looking to get through there, and poor old Charles Kellerman, I think on that one, Tom, just got a little bit bullied out.
Yeah, he got bullied out there, and Craig Jones has found his way through. Not the start that Cullinan would have wanted. Ralph Cullinan trying to find his way through in 8th position so far. Looking at where he was on the grid for Cullinan, I don't think he's gained any positions so far. So he's got some work to do. He's to be anywhere near the front. But Jamie Ayres should take advantage of this and pull away from Steve Hefford, which he's got a reasonable lead at this stage, but we know how powerful the draft can be the next time they go onto the pit straight. Yeah, Newman tucked in now. He's going to keep an eye on Steve Hefford. Nowhere for him to go at this moment in time. He's going to look forward down into turn 1. Makes a bit of a slide coming in through the S's. Takes a much wider line there. Goes down Hunt, who's cleared Pete Newman. Craig Jones still ahead of Kellerman. Not far, mind you. Into 1 we go with Newman. Ayres takes a very, very wide line. Through he goes, gets a great one out. Newman also up behind Hunt. Thought he was going to look up the inside going on to the back stretch. Didn't look this time around. Is he going to look going down into the left-hander? No, it's going to be hard on the brakes going into the right for Pete Newman. Is he going to be able to clear this through? No, he's going to look for the run on towards the carousel. That's going to be his next option for Mr. Newman, whether or not he's going to be able to go. Craig Jones caught in a bottle. That's all that comes to mind, as he has got Kellerman, Cullinan, Wilson and Sampson and McLean and Toon all tucked in behind him. Yeah, very close the field are by this stage of the race. We've got over 2 minutes of the race. Well, we've just done 2 minutes of this race so far. We've seen Cullinan go to the outside of Kellerman. Can he make the move stick? He'll have to be brave around the outside there, will Ralph? But it looks like he's got the job done. He'll have the inside line for the next corner, and it's as sweet as you like. That was a good overtake from Cullinan to make his way through. Yeah, job done. Cullinan now. Cullinan and Kellerman
A bit of a mouthful here through the left-hander onto the back stretch. You can see they are as they are up front. They are as they are now. Dropping Alan Toon off, and Wilson underneath Kellerman. He goes through as well into turn 1. Is Kellerman going to look up the inside of 2? He is. Wilson's going to have the inside for 3. Through he goes. No problem for Jamie Wilson. Moves his way through. Steve Everett. Jamie has 2B2 in the background. Hunt is there. Newman's there. And he's going to try to switch back. Pete Newman with PVG. Is he going to be able to get this through? Is Dan Hunt going to be able to make the move through Steve Everett into the carousel? We're going to go. Everett's going to be a little bit tighter than he wants. He really needs to push up the banking a little bit more. Gets a run, mind you. So does Hunt. Hunt's going to try and run him around the outside. He's going to open the door up for Newman here. This could be a freeway fight going down into the left-hander. Dan Hunt does manage to get it through. Steve Everett sitting in behind.
Yeah, Dunham was always going to do that. He was going to have the ideal line coming out of carousel and use all the momentum all the way up the hill and then down towards the right-hander before the S's. And Hunt was, well, he's a man on a mission, and now he's got Jamie Ayres in his sights now and picking up another win.
Yeah. He's trying now for Mr. Ayres to hold on, but he has got Dan Hunt looming. Wilson's having a go at Jones in the background. Hunt's gone round. Hunter's gone round. He's going to come back onto the track, but unfortunately he has lost places for Dan Hunt. Was there contact? That's going to be the question.
There was definitely contact, James. You can see he was too eager, too desperate there was Dan Hunt. Too, it was too far back. I'm sure they definitely made contact there.
Yeah,
very lucky, actually. Yeah, very lucky that Newman didn't run into him. And it's race over for Dan Hunt.
Yeah, he's back into the pits. Craig Jones went off track and has come back on as well, but now dropped all the way down behind Alan Toon. Let's have a look and see what Jones did. Was this again on his own? Onto the back stretch.
Yeah.
Yep, it looks like he just applied the power too much and around he went. PVG, however, climbing onto the back of Newman. Newman trying to get onto the back of Hefford here to take this victory.
Yeah, and this is going to give Cullinan a chance really to close in on the top 4 now. Hefford will be on the tail of Ayres sooner rather than later if he keeps making the most of the draft on the pit straight. See, the gap was 7 tenths before they went down, but it's only going down by around about a tenth or so, but Hefford is getting closer and closer and closer, and Ayres is able to pull away out of the corners. This is very much within Ayres' court to take victory in race number 3. Oh, Hefford hit the wall. I'm sure Hefford hit the wall on the exit of the South Chicane, James, and he's lost ground.
Yeah, Newman's there. Oh, he's going to door bang with PVG. Gave PVG a little bit of a rub there. Newman's going to look for the inside going down into the carousel. Is he going to be able to make it through, Pete Newman? Don't know. He's going to try and run around the outside. The ideal line. He's used the banking. He's carried the speed. He got through. Yeah. Great move from Pete Newman.
Yeah, and Hefford is all over the place. He wasn't very brave through the carousel either. Yeah, he's got a problem as Hefford. He hit the barrier on the exit of the South Chicane. I don't know if you've got a replay of what actually happened to Hefford, but you can see he's losing all the time and ground there, and that might be him into the pits at the end of the lap.
Well, we'll have to see for Steve Hefford. He got...
he's got Wilson behind him now. Yeah, he's into the pits. You can see the steering's broken.
Yeah, in pit lane for Steve Evans, Sampson and Wilson running side by side. PVG is still side by side with Pete Newman as they're continuing the fight here, but Sampson does hold on. There is Newman, there is PVG, there is Cullinan trying to close on, but at the moment Ayres has got 1.7 seconds out in front. Sampson's got Wilson, Kellerman and McLean in the background. They're too wide, too deep. Oh, they've settled back in. Sampson's going to lose that position. Is he to Wilson? He did lose it, but he's got it back. He now gets on the power too early. Wilson's going to have a run. Oh, no.
That had the word collision written all over it.
Yeah. He just comes straight across his nose from the corner. He loses it, then he drifts out. Wilson's there, and then bang. Unfortunately, both men end up in the wall. Wilson's in pit lane. Kellerman is still not in pit lane. He's still leading the AMs, and he's still got Darren McLean tucked in behind him.
So it's now really pretty much a two-horse race in the AM class for victory there. McLean ahead, or just behind Kellerman, I should say. But you never know what could happen in this one now. As his lead is 7 cents, it's come down quite a bit since the collision between, since Hampshire clipped the wall on the exit of the South Chicane. But this race is not done by any means. This has probably been the most interesting race out of the three we've had so far.
Yeah, it's been action all the way through. That gap up front's come down as well. Newman's getting closer to Ayres. Kellerman's still trying to scrap it out for the lead in the AMs. McLean's still in there. Newman now has got Ayres in his sights. He's used the draft as much as he possibly can. Running around that high, banking, gets the run that he wants, gets a bit of a better run out than Ayres. Closes the gap up now below half a second. Pete Newman through the right hand. He's got the long looping left to come. He's just got to hold it, not make any mistakes like he did that last time, that last race where he ended up in a wall. Now he's tucked in, now he's close. This is it for Pete Newman. He's got to bury the S's. Through he goes to left, straighten the car up, round they go. He's got to get this absolutely nailed to have a go down into turn one. Where's Ayres going to go? Is he going to go on the deep end? Is Newman going to go to the inside? He is going to look to go to the inside, Pete Newman. He's going to try and hold this line. He's got to run it in deep and hope he sticks it, because Ayres is going to come back at him on the exit. Not this time. Ayres again into three. Newman manages to hold on. Onto the back stretch they go. Newman does make it through. Great job from him.
Yeah, it was a good overtake there from Newman, but Ayres made it far too easy there. Newman had all the time in the world to get the car onto the apex and get through sweetly through the South Chicane. And we've got a retirement also, James, involving Craig Jones, who had a spin at the South Chicane, and I think we're going to find out as to why that happened.
Yeah, Craig Jones here. What did you do? This is unfortunate for him. Takes a victory in race number 3, and then unfortunately victory in race number 2, and then 1 and 3. He's not finished the race as of yet. However, McLean is still out there, and he's still scrapping with Kellerman through the long looping left.
Yeah, and if these two continue dicing it out, if they come to blows, that could hand Sir Alan Toon a rare class victory. Now, he already won a class win in Road America. Could he get a second one here? Well, he's on course for a podium. We know that for a fact. But can he get a class win again before 2024 is out?
Well, depends what happens here with McLean and Kellerman. They have got 20 seconds, so regardless if they collide, they've got 20 seconds to hold it. Ayres and Newman still out in front. Ayres is drifting out to about, he's well over a second now. McLean's brought the gap down to 6/10. Is Kellerman going to be able to hold on here? That's going to be the question. McLean goes in again, you can cut that corner apparently. So Craig Jones has informed me. There's Colin Sanson just recovering, removes his car from the equation. Down they go the other side into the carousel now. Charles Kellerman out in front. McLean tucked in behind him, still there. This AM fight providing all the action.
Yeah, absolutely. And we had that 4-car fight involving the pros at the front. Newman's lead is 1.5 seconds over Jamie Ayres, with Cullinan not too far behind, either is PVG. But this is by far the closest battle we've got on circuit, involving the two leading AMs of Charles Cullinan and Darren McLean through the S's for what will be the 9th time for them. And so they head round, and you can see McLean all over the back here. Can he do what Pete Newman did to Jamie Ayres and send it a long way down the inside into turn number 1 there? It looks like he has done, and McLean will hit the apex nicely, and that is him through.
Great run from Darren McLean. Got the job done there over Charles Kellerman. Kellerman's now got to come back at him. The question is for Kellerman, can he come back at him? Has he got the pace to come back at him? Can he utilise what draft he can get through the right-hander? He's got a bump up now. There's the bump over the right-hander again. Took it quite tight. Lost a little bit of time. Just see McLean open it up a little bit to over half a second. Coming into the carousel. Down on the brakes he goes. Running it in wide. Get that run. It's an up, down, up manoeuvre, which means they go up high, come in low, go up high again on the exit. Now Kellerman's still in the fight though. He's still chasing, not giving up here of Charles Kellerman. He's still having a good old go at Darren McLean.
What a view Charles Kellerman had of the sky as he came through the carousel corner. Yes, the sun is sinking round New Hampshire. And you can see Kellerman, who's determined to pick up a class win. I don't know if he's had a class win tonight, as far as I'm concerned, with Charles Kellerman. but he's doing his best to keep up with McLean. He's definitely got something left in there. We've got 3 laps to go. The race has already gone over the line, and we are going to get another 13-lap race in. But McLean is doing his best to hold back in his quest with Charles Kellerman, who will be looking to take advantage of Colin Sampson's mishap in the race for the AM title this season.
Yeah, Craig Jones got technical issues with his new wheel. Roger's got an issue with the gears not changing down now, so he's away trying to sort that one out as well. We think we know what the issue is. I think where he set the clutch on the pedals, the auto blip's gone, and yep, it has. The auto blip changed to anti-stall clutch, I think it changes to, and then caused him a problem changing through the gears. So he has now set it again, and hopefully he should be back out on track for race number 4. But that was Mr. Jones's problem there for this race. Kellerman is, oh, McLean up on, no, Charles! Oh, gone poof.
Yeah. He's far enough ahead of Alan Soon anyway, it is Charles Kellerman. So second place is all but secure, but that's going to hand McLean the win unless he absolutely bottles it in the remaining laps. But you can just see the leaders of Newman, as Cullinan and PVG. You can just see Newman shooting off into the distance. The fight for second place in this race is far from over, and there's 2 more tours, and there's still enough time for things to change here as PVG gets out of shape.
Yeah, I think he just got into power a little bit early. Ralph Cullinan's coming at Ayres. He's got the gap down at 7/10. I believe Jones is back out on track. He is. But Cullinan's still coming in at Ayres. Jones near enough a lap down here. But he's still having a go on the race circuit currently at this moment in time. I believe, actually, Craig Jones is 8, 9, 10, 11, 3 laps down. Not sure why that picked up like that. Maybe we'll do it this way. There we go. 3 laps down for Craig Jones, but he's out testing everything that makes work. Final lap of the race. Ralph Cullinan closing in on Jamie Ayres. Barney's waving in the top there. He's got 1 more to go here for Ralph Cullinan. Can he get near him?
We'll wait and see. I don't think Cullinan is quite close enough yet. He won't do it into turn 1. He's way too far back. So think about it there. I think Ayres has got second place more or less secure here. But there's no doubt that Newman has got it right after 2 non-finishes in the first 2 races. He's about to make up for it here and take a win. But this is something that we see from Newman from time to time, is that he doesn't always maximise the results compared to what his performances suggest.
Yep. He makes far too many mistakes at times for Pete Newman, but it looks like he's going to come and wrap up race number 3. Is Cullinan going to get close? That's going to be the question. Can there be a change? McLean wrapping up the AM win, but Pete Newman for the final time is going to come in through the S's. He's going to get his victory. Now he's just got 1 more left-hander to go. On he goes. Job done for Pete Newman. He is going to take that victory. Over the line he goes. Looks like you see in the background Ralph Cullinan's not going to be able to get near Ayres. And then Darren McLean is going to wrap up the AM. So it's Newman, Ayres and Cullinan for round number 3. And we'll see what we get for round number 4. It is McLean, Kellerman and Toon for the first podium of the evening for this man who's still got half a track to go. I don't know if I like this circuit, Tom. I've got to be honest.
Well, I've seen better ones. I mean, do you remember that Silverstone South circuit that we raced on earlier this season? Because little we would have thought it would put up some form of racing. We actually got more out of it than we ever expected.
Yeah, and that's the thing. I just don't think this is a great circuit. I think, yeah, I'm not a lover of this.
Well, whilst you say that, Alan Toon is going to pick up his 5th AM podium in this autumn campaign, and what a job he has done just to essentially stay in the race without being involved in someone else's incident. There he goes, over the line, and Tooney, well done. You've got a trophy to take home with you by the end of tonight.
Yeah, third place for Alan Toon. Great job there. You can see Colin Sampson's car is absolutely broke, shall we say, for him. As they all come over the line. Here are the results for race number 3. Oh dear. Oh dear. Pete Newman is your winner. Jamie Ayres and Ralph Cullinan are 1, 2, 3 in the pros. PVG in 4th. Then we've got Darren McLean and Charles Kellerman. McLean taking the AM win. Steve Evans separates him from Alan Toon, rounding out the podium. And Colin Sampson 2 laps down. Craig Jones 4. Jamie Wilson and Dan Hunt down here as well. No lights on the track.
Well, I'm trying to see if there is actually some lights. There we go. You can see some cars.
Oh,
Jamie
my God.
Wilson is out on wet. But I don't see any rain.
No, it is.
Is there rain?
Yep, there is. There you go. There's his window wipers. So not only are they pitch black, they're in the rain.
Well, one driver who is probably going to be the most relieved man out of all the grid, and that's Steve Hefford, because he usually excels in these conditions.
Yes, but it's pitch black. We're not going to see anything.
You can just see the spray being kicked up by Jamie Wilson as he heads through
Okay,
towards
guys.
the end of the lap.
Yeah, hold on to your hats. Because race 4 is going to be very, very interesting indeed.
Well, I keep always saying this, but because of the change of the conditions, every driver should be out there.
I agree. Well, 3 minutes left to warm up. Half the grid is out. Tooney's not. Cullen and Ayres and Newman are not. But yeah. I'm surprised that Oval doesn't have lights. Maybe it doesn't have lights on their road configuration. But it might have lights on their oval configuration.
Well, what time are we on now over there, James?
In America, as we are right now, just gone 5:45 in the evening.
Oh, there you go. I think, given it at the time of the year we are at, it's perhaps no surprise to see, because out there in the darkness, and that might make things a little bit tricky for us as commentators to spot who is who on the screen, unless they are all together.
Yes. Oh, Colin Sampson going off. Only recognise that from the big little writing on the side. We are on board with Jamie Wilson. Why a race at this time? Like you say, can't see a bloody thing. No, we can't. We can't, Andy. And unfortunately, I don't have the brightness set on a hotkey because, well, I presumed that, I think they presumed that oval track had lights. The rain I get, because it always generally rains in race number 4, apart from last week at Barber, but okay, well, let's see how we go. They might be all right.
Looking at some lap times we've got so far, we've got 1:23. Yeah, so we've got a 1:22.8 for Dan Hunt. Jamie Wilson has posted a time of a 1:23.2, and Darren McLean set a 1:28.0. Craig Jones has just got over the line for a 1:26.1. All of these drivers are out on full wet, for your information. We've got the best time of the one-up so far now from Steve Hefford with a 1:21.5. So this goes back to what I was saying about his ability in these wet conditions. Charles Kennan's done a 1:26.4. We've got anyone else approaching the line? Well, we've got Colin Sanson, who'll be going over the line in a moment. PVG's done a 1:25.6. He's gone up to 4th place. And Colin Sanson's lap time was invalid. In fact, no, it's not now. He's just done a 1:24.2. So that will pretty much bring an end to the warm-up. So Alan Toon is out on circuit now, just trying to get some form of mileage off there. All these off-trackers, says Alan Toon, but Ralph Cullinan and Jamie Ayres are out there. on their full wets.
Yeah, Newman's out there as well. Nobody else should be out there on dries at all, to be honest. If you're not in wets, well, ooh. Okay, let's bring you up the grid and see here how this one goes. I'm not even sure how many we're going to get finished in this. We've got a grid of 12. Let me know your predictions. Dan Hunt in pole, Wilson second, and we're going to have Craig Jones, Colin Sampson, Sir Alan Toon, Steve Efford, Charles Kellerman, Darren McLean, PVG, Ralph Cullen and Jamie Ayres and Pete Newman rounding out the grid. Let's see what happens. Dan Hunt on pole position for race number 4. The final race of the evening. It's dark, it's wet. Everybody on wet tyres. I can't see Alan Toon as of yet. He's still in voice chat, so he will be still out, but let's see what he does here. I'm hoping he's selected the right tyres for Alan Toon, because it'd be the last thing we want. Not racing for race number 4 by the looks of it. 3, 4, 5, giving up. I can see there, Tooney. What's happened? There's a go now and get green. Dan Hunt is off the line. 50%. I think you might be right. Dan Hunt takes the lead with Jamie Wilson in second, Colin Sampson leading the arms, Craig Jones in there as well, Steve Efford trying to come through the field. There goes one, that was Charles Kellerman, I believe, who's gone off the side of the circuit. Where are you? There he is, he's coming back on. Dan Hunt's taking the whole shot. He has got Wilson putting him under pressure, and Colin Sampson is in there as well. Now we've got Steve Efford, Craig Jones there, side by side once again, but it is Dan Hunt out in front with Wilson, sitting in second place. Too sore. Yeah, okay, yeah.
So Hunt pulling away there from Wilson, single file pretty much through the South Chicane, except Ralph Cullen and Charles Tillman that collided, but both have continued. Alan Toon has not taken the start, unfortunately, so that is probably his night done.
He's in YouTube chat. He's got a old injury that keeps causing him some issues, and unfortunately it has caused him issues again, so he has given up. McLean and PBG, I believe that is. I'm going to bring out the battle box for this because I can actually see it is McLean and PBG. PBG does go through. Wilson's climbing all over the front end of Hunt, as it's going to be tucked in. Why they're close together, we can see who they are, but when it starts spreading out, it's going to be a little bit of a problem. Wilson, Ted going to go in, start trying to take that lead of the race. He goes in quite narrow, gets a little bit of a slide on. Hunt comes around the outside. Hefford's there with Sampson. Is he going to be able to get through? Nope. Jones is there. He's got Newman for company. And now Hunt is out in front. Wilson, Sampson sitting in here as well. Sampson leading the AMs, but for how long? Does he need to do anything crazy, or does he just let this man go? Oh no, I've seen this before. Literally in the last race. Is Sampson going to drift out? Nope. Keeps it there as well. I bet Jamie Wilson wish he'd done that on the last race. There he is there as well, but Steve Efford taking a dive at Wilson. Does he get the job done? No, I think he's gone. Ooh.
He very nearly drops it. He collides. Oh, that's very, very nearly Parfitt out of this one. And as Ayres goes through, and now he's got to watch for Sanson around the outside. Does he know that he's there? I'm sure he does, but Sanson's going for it. But Parfitt having none of it and closes the door on him.
Oh, you are lucky, lucky man there. Lucky man, Mr. Efford. The reason he's lucky, Colin Sampson braked. Colin braked and stopped him hitting him there because he chopped his nose off quicker than a plastic surgeon on Kim Kardashian, I can tell you that much. And he was lucky. Lucky Sampson braked, because most people I know wouldn't have braked on that one because he comes straight across his nose.
Yeah. So Hunt and Wilson fighting it out now. Wilson got a very good exit coming out of the South Chicane. Is he going to look to the outside here? He's not quite close enough there. Will he do what Efford did to Sanson on the previous lap? The answer is no, but he's got Ayres alongside, and Ayres is not able to take advantage. You may be able to look to the outside, actually, which will make the outside even more important to try and get an overtake done here, because that's the ideal line. You could just see Wilson was on the inside, not ideal for him, as nearly taking advantage. Hefford back in the fight, but goes over the curb, and that's too ambitious from Steve Hefford there, and that was very nearly contact.
Yeah, it was. You can see they're side by side in the background. That's Colin Sampson losing the place to Pete Newman. I think that's PVG in behind. It is. There.
Yeah.
And he's going to clear Colin Sampson as well. Sampson's going to put himself into clutches of McLean. Jones is there on his own. I don't think Cullinan is too far away. He is, he's about 6 seconds away. As these guys running almost 2 or 3 wide, coming down into turn number 1. Down Hunt DOF, ahead of the Momo, ahead of Team Chimera, ahead of Momo and Pete Newman. Wilson again almost gets the job done over Ayres. Is he going to be able to get through? Ayres past Wilson last time out. Not this time. As I say, why they're this close, they can see their own brake markers on the racetrack.
Yeah, Hefford looking to the outside of Wilson. He's good in these conditions. He's Hefford. Looks to the outside. He knows where the grip is. And this is going to be a brilliant overtake if he can do it here. Steve Hefford through on Wilson before they get to the corner. Jamie is going for it on Dunham further ahead, and he may be able to take over leadership here, but he's not quite able to do so just yet.
Yeah, he's going to now try and run on the inside, coming out of the carousel. They're going to be side by side up over the hill. Ayres is on the right, Hunt is on the left. Ayres comes across, takes his nose off, going around a long looping right-hander. In through the S's they go. Hunt's going to try and follow him. Newman's now cleared Hefford. He's caught up and got past, and job done for him. Cullinan's on his way out of pit lane. He just did enter the pits and then drives back out, but that is because he had an off-track earlier on. But we've got 5 cars within the space of about 2.5 seconds on the race circuit, and at the moment, Andy Littler, we've got literally 11 out of 12 cars still running.
Yeah, so we've got Ralph Cullinan at the back now behind Charles Kellerman. Cullinan having a race to forget. He came into the pits as well, did Ralph, so that'll be pretty much his race over, unless there's an absolute catastrophe involving a lot of the front runners, which is possible in these conditions. We are 6 minutes into this race now. We're on lap number 5. Not too many dramas so far, as we see as leading away from Hunt now, but how long will he be able to maintain it?
Yeah, not sure on that one. We'll keep an eye. Oh,
It's
gone.
It's gone wide.
Oh.
Has he damaged the suspension because he clipped the wall there with the right rear? Oh, he's almost dropping it as he rejoins into the path of PVG. Just watch his steering wheel as he goes through the corners. Did that clip affect the rear suspension? It looks to be okay so far, but we'll keep an eye on it for now.
No, I'll have to wait till he gets sort of straight. It does look like he's off centre a little bit. PVG getting a slide by Pete.
It's off.
Yeah, Pete's gone. What does he do on the... Yeah, he's just off centre. Yeah, just off centre, I think. He has got damage. PVG is gone and jumped back to the pits after you saw this firsthand. Time yet, though, Joe. I agree. Andy, I agree. There goes another one. Just for good health. Pete Newman going, PVG, sorry, going and putting it in the wall. Darren McLean down here with, I believe that's Craig Jones in behind him. This is what these guys are seeing at this moment in time. And as we see, once the spray starts kicking up, Jones is not really going to be able to see a massive amount. It was like me driving down the A303 today. Couldn't see nothing behind a truck who was spitting up a wonderful wall of spray at me as it was hurtling down earlier on where I am. He is tucked in, though. Is he going to be able to make the move on a carousel? I think if he does, it's going to be a dive and a half for Craig Jones.
We need to go back to the battle for the lead, James, because Hunt and Hefford are right on, nose to tail between the pair of them. You can just see there, Hunt Hefford, who got by Newman earlier on in the lap, is managed to get his way through up into second place, and he sees Dan Hunt in the way of a victory. Hunt nearly chopped it.
Oh. If he carries on like that, could be another one. Top 4 capable of taking each other out. I agree.
Ooh, yeah.
Oh, Newman's pushed onto the curb. I do agree, Andy. And we have seen it before. We have seen it before in dry conditions. Oh, wow, this is going to get spicy over the next 6 minutes. Hold on to your hats, guys. They're going through the right-hander now. Heaven's going to bounce a little bit there, coming over the bump. There's that bump that's got the puddle set in. Newman did not get a good run out. I think that's going to bring Ayres, and Ayres does clear Newman. And at the moment, it's a DOF reality out in front with Momo second, Momo third, and then Pure Sims in fourth. But I don't think Pete's going to give this up. We've got 5 minutes to go. I think we might be on a 12-lap race, Tom. I think we might lose a lap to the rain.
Yeah, well, we already knew that was going to be the case, but will they get round to complete 12 laps, or will it be 11? We'll wait and see as we watch the drivers go through the S's very, very shortly. Ralph Cullen has had another off track, has rejoined, but he's had a race to forget, there's no question. Or we can just see Jamie Ayres very nearly dropping it there on the exit of the S's, but he's still in play to pick up a race win in this one. And now Hefford is right on the tail of Dan Hunt, approaching the south chicane. Once more, it looks to the outside to try and optimise the traction on the exit, which he's able to do so, but Hunt reads it, and the way Hunt reads it has forced Hefford to lose momentum by easing off the throttle to make sure he didn't run into him.
Yeah, Jamie Ayres did get a good run through one, and then unfortunately through two, he kind of hit Steve Hefford, and then was able to not get that run there. Hefford nearly clips round Hunt. Hefford got in deep again. Ayres has got in deep. This is going to bring Newman into the pack. He is there in the background. 4-car fight. Here we go. Is this where Andy Littler's going to come out and predict the future? Is there going to be chaos? Are they going to take each other out? Newman's cleared Ayres. Hunt is in there. Hefford's in there. Top four, throwing everything at them, each other, including the kitchen sink, Tom.
Yeah, absolutely. And they're all coming through now to complete another lap here. It'll be less than 4 minutes to go when they cross over the line. So I think it's going to be an 11-lap race, James, as the clock ticks down. That here we go. They've got 3 laps to go. And will Dan Hunt be able to hold on and take his second win of the night?
Well, we're going to find out. Ayres is nailing turn one every single time. And then when he gets through two, he just unfortunately is finding a wall of people. Newman's just been tapped there. He's still running, but he has just been tapped from Steve Hefford. This is getting close and close here. Wilson is slowly coming in the background, but is he's top four. Ayres nearly hits Newman round. And unfortunately, fortunately just missed him. Hefford's going to go in hard into the carousel. Ayres is going to go and miss the carousel completely. Don't want to be out that far, but you can see now Newman's going to have the run here. Is he going to be able to get Steve Hefford as well? Dan Hunt's on our left, I believe. Hefford's going to go round. I think he's going to try and come across the nose. Newman backs out. Newman's going to come across and try and cut him back the other way. Hefford's there now. He's all out of shape. He doesn't really know where to go. Newman, oh, dude, you let him off. You're going to punish him for that. Steve's getting a slide and out. But here goes Pete. Newman is going to look for the inside line on the run over the line. Hefford's got onto the brakes. Newman's going to try and take the outside. There is Momo 72. The yellow and red of Steve Hefford. We are trying to cut back. There's contact. Oh, bro. Can't keep closing the door. It's going to end disastrous.
No, and Hefford's had a really poor exit coming out of the south chicane as well, but Newman's not able to capitalise.
He just can't get through, but if he's going to keep trying to be sort of bullied out the way, he ain't going to have much choice, is he? You know, he's going to come to a point where Newman's going to be like, well, tough. You keep doing it to me.
Yeah, a great exit also from Newman, and an overtake in the AM class involving Colin Sanson and Darren McLean, who keep swapping places at the moment. As we see Newman dive bombing almost on Hefford, but Hefford is not having any of it. And they'll be starting the final lap in a moment, and they've got Ralph Cullinan, who's a lap behind, who could potentially get in the way.
Well, potentially, but I don't think he's going to be doing it. Or if he is going to do it, I don't think he's going to do it on purpose. Jones is down here as well. He's battling with McLean. I don't think he's going to be able to get anywhere near Darren McLean. The rain's coming down now. You can see it literally. Jones with his wipers on. That's Sampson just up the road. His hand battle's not done. Hefford's going to lose that position. He's going to lose that position. Newman sweeps around the outside. No fear of getting his nose cut off this time for Newman. But Hefford's going to come back at him. Oh, this is going to be, I believe, near enough the final lap. Newman, he's going to make contact. Hefford's bouncing the curb. He's now going to be in there. Pete got his elbows out that time. He made sure Hefford was not coming across in that time.
No, and Hefford will have not liked Newman's antics there. And he'll want to have a look on the inside just to give Newman a bit of a fright, which he does for some time, but will he maybe send it towards the S's before this race is over? This is the last lap, so this will be Hefford's last chance to really send one here.
He's got 2 more corners. He's got the S's coming up. Cullinan's still going to survive here. I think, Andy, we're only going to lose 2. They make this look possible. They are. It's going to be done and dusted, but I think Pete Newman's going to wrap up the win unless anything dramatic happens coming out the final turn. It is going to be Newman, it is going to be Hefford, and it is going to be Hunt. What's going on down here? Colin Sampson is there. Jones did get past McLean, so we'll have a quick look back at that one, but it is going to be Colin Sampson, I think, going to take over and win race number 4. And Jones is going to get second. McLean's going to grab third. There we go. How did Jones do this then, and where did he do that?
He did it at the South Chicane on the last lap. There we go, to the outside. He did a similar thing to what Newman did to Hefford. This is exactly the same thing, and he just sends one to the outside, leaves McLean enough room. And that was
got the job done.
Fabulous overtake there from Craig Jones.
Newman, Hefford, and Hunt. Kellerman and Cullinan have not finished the race yet. There is Charles Kellerman, as he's going to come round and finish off the race here. And then we just got Ralph Cullinan, who did not get lapped, so he will get time there as well. Amazing skills, to be honest, James. Yeah, I think you're right, Andy. I think, respect has to be given. And yes, we've seen them take each other out, and yes, we've seen them go for a little bit of a bump on each other and make contact and very, very close to taking each other out. But they've all finished the race, and that's literally all we can ask for here as we go into the results. Pete Newman is your winner. Steve Hefford in second, and Dan on third. That's the 1, 2, 3 in the pros. Then we got Jamie Ayres and Jamie Wilson. Colin Sampson wraps up the AMs with Craig Jones and Darren McLean. Charles Kellerman getting 4th there. Then we got Ralph Cullinan, PVG and Sir Alan Toon, who are out there as well. Race 4 was a lot more interesting, I think, though, Tom. Although the dark and the rain, tough mix at New Hampshire, clearly. But it did make the racing very exciting.
It did, and it played into the hands of Steve Hefford, who wasn't able to hold on ahead of Pete Newman, who started at the back of the field in that last race. So that was the drive of the season for Pete Newman. And I think, judging by the mathematics, I think Dan Hunt is crowned champion unless something catastrophic happens to him in the last race at Saxonbury.
Well, there we go. We're going to find out what happens. Join us next week on that one. As I said, we've got plenty more action coming up on JBB. We've got a couple. The Autobahn series goes live tomorrow night. It'll be recorded tomorrow with myself and Mr. O'Leary. Tail Racing will go live on Thursday. But we have got the Radical Race series, the Simcar Penguin, TSRC Tin Top series, Casual Racing F1 on the Saturday, OGR Durrell on Sunday, Tanzo Round 4 on the Sunday early, I suppose, evening at 8:30, and then IGP, everyone's favourite, on Sunday night at 9:20. So a lot more action to come there as well. Awful laugh race. Yeah, I know. I did say that, Charles. It was dark and rain. How are you going to manage to do that? So, you only lost one as Alan Toon did not start. Yeah, I know. Absolutely amazing. But guys, that's going to wrap it up. Thank you so much for for joining me here as well. And as normal, I've been James Parfitt. I've been alongside Tom Cairns. Take care. Have a great week. And you never know, we might see you on the track sometime. Good night.